Hello, everyone, and welcome to another fun-filled adventure of Geek and a Nerd, where you, the viewing audience, get to decide who is the geek and who is the nerd.
We, as always, are your hosts, Chuck Watts,
I'm D.
and this is a special episode. So we kind of teased this in our kind of relaunch episode. This is going to be a full Deadpool and Wolverine spoiler review. That is the only topic of this video. It is a full spoiler review. So if you have not seen this movie, get out of here now. It's been a full week since it's come out. So it's finally time to talk about this masterpiece. So again, spoiler alert ends in 3, 2, 1. All right, Danny.
Blade.
Blade,
Wesley
Blade,
Snipes is Blade.
Blade.
Blade. There's only
Like,
one Blade.
it's only ever going to be one Blade. And I had actually put up a pitch video because you and I had started talking about how they can bring Blade into the MCU as Wesley Snipes and deal with all the drama they've been dealing with the Blade movie. But let's be honest here. If you could have made a list of all the cameos, because we had heard rumors about Elektra and Channing Tatum's Gambit and shit, there is no world where I would have believed any of my sources if they told me Wesley Snipes was Blade in this movie.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere, and it was awesome. They leaked it just right. Like he came in after everything was going on, and I was like, it's him. Oh, and does he look good? Oh
He
man,
looked amazing. And so I put up my pitch video and a ton of people loved it. And one dude was like, he's 62. Let him be the new Whistler. Like, dude, he could crush it. And the premise is totally set up. Like, he was amazing. Like, seeing Channing Tatum Gambit was cool. I think behind Wesley Snipes, the coolest cameo for me was the Chris Evans as Johnny Storm.
oh that was
Because
funny.
because there's a
That was
whole
hilarious.
but you got to remember, there's a whole generation of MCU fans that only know him as Captain America. So, like, it's real deep cuts to bring up the Johnny Storm and the reaction in the theater when Deadpool's like, oh my God, he's going to say it. He's going to say it. Get ready. Avengers, flame on. Like, killed me. But yeah, dude, can we just start by saying, like, how this movie did the opposite of what Star Wars has done with the quote unquote nostalgia porn? Like all the cameos in the movie made perfect sense to the story and they weren't there just to be a cameo.
Because they took time to write it.
I mean, let's touch on that because this is a return to form for the MCU in a very big way because it's been mostly misses since the ending. Which can we talk about real quick? How Deadpool says Wolverine, you joined the MCU at a bit of a low point, and Nicepool's like, I think it's been steadily great since Endgame. Like, so I mean, overall, let's start with ratings. I had said in my movie minute review, this is the first 10 out of 10 movie I've seen in a very long time. And I feel like you agree with that.
Yeah, it's a 12. This is just fantastic.
Now,
I mean, that you got fight scenes that made sense. I like the villain, Cassandra Nova. She played her so well.
so that's what I wanted to touch on because you know the comic book side of these characters, being our Marvel guy more so than me. So not only with Cassandra Nova, but what was it like to see those little montage teasers of the X-Men 251 cover, of the Hulk reflection, like the Age of Apocalypse Wolverine, like those are big comic book versions for you. So do you feel like they were done justifiably on screen?
Yeah, they did the Wolverine Deadpool cover. Wolverine has Deadpool over his head with the claws. Like they all that. They did the famous meme from the animated series where he's laying on the bed looking at the picture. Like there was something, no matter what generation of Marvel fan you are, or if you just knew ancillary things, there was something for everybody. And there was enough exhibition that would explain things. So if you jumped into this cold, you weren't totally lost. Would you get all the teasers? No, but you would get enough to be able to follow the movie and the story, which is how it should be done.
So that was the one thing I noticed is there was a lot of people that had never seen Loki. So they didn't know what the deal with the TVA and the Void was. And I was like, dude, first of all, I coined the name the Void Vengers yesterday, which is really taken off. People seem to like that name. But I think let's start at the beginning of this movie. So the opening line of the movie is Deadpool going, "No, look, I know everyone's wondering how we're gonna do this without shit on the memory of Logan." And the simple bye bye sequence, which for my generation, that song is
Yeah,
ingrained in your brain forever.
yeah,
But what
gross.
were your thoughts? What are your thoughts on him digging up the adamantium
Him
skeleton
digging up
and
the
using that?
adamantium skeleton was good. Bye 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 is a crappy song by a crappy group, by a crappy age in music, which will always suck, never be good. There is no talent there. There never was, never will be, ever again.
All right. And then we cut to Deadpool doing an interview for the Avengers with Happy Hogan, which I thought was a great nod to bring Favreau back. Everyone knows he is technically the godfather of the MCU. I mean, he started it all with Iron Man. So that was a really cool scene, and I feel like it sets up for later in the movie when he's like, "The Avengers, they don't need it." You know what I mean? They just want to do this stuff. This is who they are. You
Mhm.
want it too much. So then we get the TVA to come in. Also, I thought it was weird that him and Vanessa had broken up. I feel like that was the one kind of quote unquote cheaper part of the movie. That it was just a motivation to get them back together at the end. That
That
was the
wasn't
only
weird.
thing.
Like he was sitting there just sulking. Like, dude, get she she's the type of person that will give you support and is there for you. But if you're not you, then what am I doing here?
Right.
So enough's enough, dude. Like if you're just gonna like she was not gonna sit around and watch him just mire mediocrity. Be something.
Yeah.
You're more
So
than that.
so Deadpool is now working as a used car salesman with Peter, which first of all, I have been Team Peter since the first trailer for Deadpool 2. All right, when they're doing the superhero auditions, he's like, "So what are your powers?" He goes, "Well, I have type 1 and 2 diabetes." He goes, "That's perfect. We're actually looking for a team member with diabetes." But Peter has the great little joke. He goes, "Oh yeah, man, the midlife crisis hits everybody. One of my friends got dual nipple rings with a titanium chain going down to his dick." And then you see 10 minutes later that it's actually Peter. But there's a great little teaser where they're in the locker room of the car dealership, and Peter's like, "I keep this suit right here, man, in case you're ever ready to go." And for that to pay off the way it did, I just rewatched that scene before we went live. I didn't realize when Peter rides in on the bike, he's wearing flip flops in the Deadpool suit,
Mm-hmm.
first of all, and he's got a cannon of a dick that's just tucked away in the package there. The dude is packing, and then just the fat spilling out of the zipper of the suit was perfect. But then the whole line of like every Deadpool has a Peter. He's a legend in all of our universes. And then the samurai Deadpool that had the mini arms, Peter son. Like the Peter character has been my way into these movies. I'm like, that's the guy that I would actually be if this is going down. So, I mean, what was it about the start of the movie that appealed to you most? Were you happier when it got rolling with Wolverine actually coming in?
Yeah, I came into this blind. Like I try to not watch anything, so I don't know the whole movie going in because that's all teasers do. They just teasers are for me watching the movie ahead of time, and it totally
Yeah.
kills the fun.
So you don't know this, but the day before the movie came out, they put out a final trailer that gave away X-23's return.
Yeah, it's not fun. Like why? What's the point of that?
Which, first of all, can we talk about how that's one of the best lines in the movie? You were always the wrong guy until you
Yeah,
weren't.
there's a lot of heart in this. They okay, so this is what I didn't want to mention the spoiler free review. This brings in Wolverine's motivation from Old Man Logan. So the movie Logan was supposed to be the Old Man Logan storyline. This brings the devastation of Wolverine, of what Logan went through. When Mysterio made him think that he was fighting villains and he's really killing all the X-Men, that's what Logan would be, this movie. So that's a way they even pulled that and they pulled it into here.
So let's get back to the Wolverine montage to say trailer. So number one, we got comic book accurate Wolverine at 5'3". which for all the haters out there, they're like, "Oh, Wolverine's too tall." Now you see how ridiculous it would have looked if they made him 5 foot. But I know there's a part of you that's like, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Like,
I knew
get a short dude and let him just go ham. Like, I want to see Alpha Flight, and I want to see Puck. I don't. And there is a version of Puck that's normal size, but the 90% of the time, Puck had a demon locked inside of him, and he was a little person, and I want to see that dude bouncing around, whipping everybody up because they can't touch him.
And then, oh, before we get to the Wolverine montage, my favorite line of the entire film is when he's talking to Paradox in the TVA and realizes he's going to be brought in. He goes, 1 second, and runs up to the camera. Suck it, Fox. I'm going to Disneyland. And butts the camera. Like, the self awareness is amazing. But let's talk about the John Byrne brown and tan suit with the Hulk. Like, that had to be a moment for you, knowing what I know about you being a Wolverine and a Hulk guy. Just even that little 5 second teaser of seeing Hulk in the claws had to be awesome.
Yeah, that's all I wanted. I didn't want to see the fight in this movie. There's
Well,
not enough time to do it.
it built up so much hype. They're developing a Hulk Wolverine movie now. I
Yeah,
mean,
that'll be good. Now they I would have preferred him being in like some kind of really campy looking yellow and blue suit rather than the brown. Like save that brown suit for when you do the Hulk Wolverine movie. Let him. You don't have to explain it. It could just be, listen, I wore that when I was becoming an X Men. Now I am an X Men, so now I'm rocking brown. Deal with it. Like you do. I don't care how you write it in, but when he fights Hulk,
another
let him be in the brown suit.
another cameo that we had actually reported on when we first heard about it was the Cavalrine. I mean, that was just an awesome moment. It's like, we won't treat you like those shit fucks down the street. And I mean, what'd you think? I thought he looked perfect as Wolverine.
Oh yeah, yeah, he's gonna be good. He should be Captain Britain. If they don't mess around with it, just let him be Captain Britain. Don't make it
So,
Betsy. No one likes Betsy as Captain Britain. No one reads that comic book. No one knows what that is.
so after we get introduced to our current Wolverine, and he gets dragged back to the TVA, is the first time we see the yellow suit, which I love. When Deadpool sees it, he goes, "Oh, what are these jammies? That only took 25 fucking years." Like, what was the moment for you seeing him in the yellow suit for the first time?
Oh, look good. And then they did it up right. Like they changed it up and textured it and layered it in a way to make it look good. The
The
gloves were
texturing on that
amazing.
thing was amazing.
The
I
best
know.
part
What you
was the gloves with the little metal pieces by the
I
like that
knew you
was
were
it.
gonna love that. I knew you were gonna love that. But dude, so that's where we get our first fight scene in the void, which is incredible. Even the slow motion of Deadpool kicking the clips up and reloading them in midair. Like, there's so many great moments, but this is the first of three Wolverine Deadpool fights we get in the movie. And we've never seen it. Like, X-Men 2 kind of gave you a little bit of it with the Lady Deathstrike fight of fighting someone else that could heal, but not on the same level as Wolverine. So the brutality in these fights is insane. Claws are going up assholes, claws are going through heads. Wolverine's got katanas sticking out of him everywhere. Like, it was the helliest rebellion that you knew was going to come for these two characters, but it proves this movie could have never been anything but rated R.
Yeah.
Like, there is, I can't wait to see 6 months from now when they air this movie on FX what it's going to look like, bleeped out and dubbed over a million different times.
If anybody's old enough, they remember Do the Right Thing, and they saw Do the Right Thing on network TV where he wanted batteries and he called it Mickey Ficky. I want them D Mickey Ficky batteries. And
Dude, the
that
best
was
one for me,
classic.
the best one for me is Snakes on a Plane. He has the line, "I'm tired of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane." And in the FX version, they go, "I'm sick and tired of these monkey fighting snakes on this Monday to Friday plane." And I'm like, what the
I think it's great. I think people who do that job, they are saints among us. They're wonderful
so,
people.
so I mean, obviously Cassandra Nova gets set up, which, can we talk about the effect of her powers for a second here, man?
Oh,
It
they're
was
so good with it.
so creepy, dude. Like when she gets in Paradox's head and it's just the hands sticking out, she's dragging him by his skull. Ugh. But
And
then the
it's not just the power; it's the way she uses it. It's that
right,
calm, devilish demeanor while she's just slowly manipulating. Like Charles would just go through your mind. I have to be
yeah,
in physical contact with it, and then can just go through. And she doesn't have to touch you. Like that's the best part of it. She has psionic power. She can just look at you and just rip your skin off, slam you on the ground, throw you back. There is literally just no way to get near this person if she doesn't want you to.
right. Which I thought her whole storyline of being in the void and the TVA kind of having like this truce with her, I'll tell you what it was very much like. It was very much like Larfleeze, the Orange Lantern, at the start of Blackest Night, where they gave him his own sector. And they were like, if you don't leave here, we won't fuck with you. You don't fuck with us. And then someone rogue came into his system and that whole treaty was negated. And I feel like that's kind of what was happening with Cassandra Nova. It gave me very big Blackest Night vibes like that. But also, can we talk about being in Ant-Man's fucking decaying body as a base?
Yeah, it was cool.
God, Paul Rudd finally aged. It was amazing. The only thing I didn't like was that they included mutants that were clearly not played by the actors that played them. Lady Deathstrike was a big one. Psylocke, a lot of people missed the Psylocke cameo there. She's the one that wraps up X-23 when she's
Mm-hmm.
climbing up the wall and drags her down. There was a new actor playing Juggernaut, but that one was honestly like forgivable because I didn't really notice that
I
much of
mean,
a difference.
nobody really remembers Juggernaut from that movie anyway.
I'm the Juggernaut, bitch.
I mean,
Which
so
can we talk about his death for a second against X-23 with the slit in the ankles off? Oh, I loved it. But let's so obviously they're in the void. That's where we get the Chris Evans as Johnny Storm cameo. What did you think of the Johnny Storm death scene?
yeah, it was nice. Just rip the skin off. It's
Just
just a wrap, and he just collapsed.
but just the whole Deadpool thing where you think that he's talking shit and gets Johnny killed, and then we get the payoff in the post-credit scene. He said all that shit verbatim.
Yeah, that was his Boston accent.
Oh, absolutely.
Because he plays a good Boston accent. He's one of the few. But most of the actors from Boston I can't stand. Like, I don't even know if I'm watching. Like I like who's dude from Matrix? Fishburne. I love me some Fishburne. I don't know if I'm watching that new movie because I'm not watching Casey Affleck for 2 hours. Like,
Ugh.
let's just shoot them however far in the space we can go. Let's just go past Jupiter and let's just keep going and let's shut off communication. I don't want to hear that dude. I'm good.
So obviously we get into the void, and that's where we first get the cameos. So we start off with Nice Pool, who is a sexy, unscarred version of Deadpool that's also super fucking Canadian. My favorite line with him is, "Where's your mask?" And he goes, "Guys, come on." Like, what? But Dogpool, I am in love. I've watched this movie 7 times now. I am absolutely in love with Dogpool,
Thing's gross. Yeah,
dude.
I won an ugliest dogs contest in England.
And then the
Deservedly
scene where
so.
he's just tonguing Ryan
You
Reynolds'
know that
mouth.
there's like all kind of outtakes of him doing
Oh yeah.
whatever with that dog because they kept on clicking back to it. So there's no telling how much because he was doing that the whole time while
Oh
they
no,
were.
they actually just officially released a blooper of it where he lets the dog go for like 45 seconds, dude. It is crazy. But first of all, can we talk about the soundtrack of this movie? Because it's brilliant. Like Dogpool debuts to the song Lady in Red. Never seen you looking so lovely as you did tonight. And then Like a Prayer by Madonna has been stuck in my head for a solid week. They placed 3 different versions of it across this movie, and they're all hauntingly beautiful. Like the one at the very end when they're holding the machine is the choir version. Oh my God. Goosebumps. But so the void, we get the cameos. We get Jennifer Garner back as Elektra, which, to be totally honest, that was the one I could have done with that. I would have much rather liked to see a Halle Berry as Storm or a Famke Jensen as Jean Grey, but I'll take the Elektra. But I never felt like she was on par with the rest of that team ability wise.
Well, she is just in just different way.
And then
Like you
we
like
get
DC. You got what's her
there you
name?
go,
What's that? What's Batman's villain? Batman's the dad.
Catwoman.
Yeah, Batman's baby's mama. They're the same person.
Talia al Ghul.
Yeah, same person.
So here's the other thing. Channing Tatum's Gambit, I found out, went over a lot of people's heads because a lot of people don't know
Oh my
for
goodness.
years, for years, the better part of a decade, he was supposed to play Gambit.
I'm so
And
glad they didn't do that. It was so
oh my
he's so
God.
bad.
Dude, and I love that Deadpool even has the line. He goes, I've been here forever. He goes, are you sure it's not something that you really wanted to, but it never seemed to work out? Like, and then the fact that you couldn't understand him. My favorite line of Deadpool to him is, I'm so sorry. I want this to be gentle, but who was your dialect coach? The Minions? Like,
And
it,
I give Tatum credit because a lot of his lines leaned into the joke. Most people wouldn't do that, and his lines leaned into it, and everything he said was pretty much joking on himself. So
but you know
kudos
what's
Tatum.
worse? He was wearing the face warmer thing, and Pete Holmes's X-Men ruined that for me. He goes, and what is this on your face? It's like you're framing the worst parts of you. And then he's like, I trod it hard, really hard. He goes, yes, but say we're not in a 99-cent store. Like, you're useless. Like, so we get them, and then we get the Blade. And I've talked to many people, and everybody said that was the biggest pop in their theaters. When Wesley Snipes walks onto the stream, everybody was like, oh, shit. Because whether you know Chris Evans from Johnny Storm, anything like that, you know Wesley Snipes is fucking Blade. And like he says, there's only been one Blade. There's only ever going to be one Blade. And then Deadpool's look at the camera was, I swear to God, like a look of, hey, Marvel, here you go.
Yep,
Like,
Midnight Suns. You have Wolverine and Blade already met. You know they work together. That's now established in the MCU.
and at the end, Deadpool says, I got a few friends in the void that really helped us if you could get them out.
Yeah,
And we see,
X-23 is out, so everybody else
yeah.
is out. They're all out.
So,
So
why?
you have Moon Knight already. We've seen him. You have. Oh, hold on a second. Yes, yes. I want to update BattleNet because StockCraft, 15 years later, still kicks all that. Amazing.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, give me you have everything you need for Midnight Sun. So let's go. Let you go Werewolf by Night. Yeah, I don't care if the whole first half of Midnight Sun's in black and white, and then you wait until the end fight scene to do it in color, or vice versa. Do whatever you got to do. It would be amazing to do that in like a black and white noir look. The whole Midnight
I,
Suns. You could just do a
I,
little color here and little splashes.
I do want to talk about the second Deadpool Wolverine fight in the Honda Odyssey, which, in my opinion, is the best fight of the movie. That's my favorite fight of them going through the. There's the one scene where Deadpool throws Wolverine out the front windshield and then draws his sword, but Wolverine hits the car, knowing it's going to throw him back, and then dives in through the window. Like, that scene was so brutal. But then the idea that they fought for so long that they both passed out, and Ryan Reynolds is all wrapped up in the seatbelts when X-23 finds them. Like, really think about the logic of that. This is two dudes that can heal that literally fought until dark, and their bodies were just like, and they're napping next to each other. Like, the fight scenes were amazing. I mean, we all saw Logan, and do you remember in Logan the first dude he kills with the claws here, and they pop out there? And that was the first time you were like, that's what his fucking claws are supposed to do. I feel like we got that through and through with Wolverine in this movie. Like, this was the Wolverine I have always imagined when I read comic books.
Yeah, they let him just go ham. So
And
this is nothing compared to what they do in that Hulk fight when that gets going.
so then we get X-23 coming in, which there's no way to not understand the emotional weight of that with what Logan did and set up for that character. And first of all, this is the first time she's spoken English, because remember, she speaks Spanish in all of Logan. But her speech to Wolverine at the fire, where we finally find out what happened with this Wolverine, and they don't show any of it, but you feel all of it through Hugh Jackman's storytelling. That was his scene where he was like, yeah, I'm a fucking world class actor, and you're going to feel it right here. So, what were your thoughts on X-23 coming in?
Oh, it's good. She brought the heart. She brought the heart and the weight to it. So it
So
wasn't
then,
just all like gratuitous violence and f bombs.
as we head into the finale, obviously they're trying to stop Cassandra Nova from using Time Ripper, and that's where we get Deadpool and Wolverine versus the Deadpool Corps. And first of all, the mask. We have to talk about the mask. I had known going into this that he only wears the mask for about 10 minutes of the movie. It couldn't have been a better 10 minutes that they picked. But like the comic book fan in you, when you see that mask come over with the white eyes and everything, what was that moment? Because for me, it was 25 years of frustration just gone. Like I
Oh, yeah.
release you.
It looked great. Like it was great.
And then the one shot fight scene of them taking out the Deadpool core, set again to Like a Prayer, was amazing. It looked like a Mario speed run, but just rated R.
So what we need to do, Marvel, going forward, real helmets, real costumes, none of the CGI, use it for certain parts, and one cut fight scenes. We don't need to see quick flashes. You flash when you're hiding stuff. Like people in debate when they if you ever watch somebody and their whole spiel is they talk real fast and then there's a lot to unpack because it's a lot of nonsense and they're just trying to put up so much you can't keep up with it. Anyone you see that speaks ridiculously fast is because they have nothing to say and they're unintelligent and they're hiding that from you. When you do cutscenes and you do all cutscenes and everything's all bouncing around, it's because you don't want nobody to see what's actually happening because you have nothing.
Do you know
That
who kind of fucked that up? John Wick fucked that up for a lot of movies because John Wick did the whole steady cam one shots. We're not going to cut away. These are the actors doing their own stunts, and this is what it fucking
they
looks like.
did that before John Wick.
I know, but
Movies,
John Wick perfected it.
you need to go watch Internal Affairs and see what they.
Oh
That was
wow! Did you just say
ballerina with guns. Beautiful.
I'll throw you another one. Hard Boiled by John Woo. That's got some great oneers in it.
And yeah, they
Dude,
just
that Hard
stop
Boiled is a
stop with
deep
all
cut.
the CGI and everything to death and working people so much that they can't keep up. And then you're gonna change things at the last minute. Hey, we want that to be purple now. Well, everything was like orange. It's not even the same hue. We gotta go back and change everything now. Yeah, you'll be fine to get through this.
So then we get to the finale of the film where we learn that in order to take this machine out and stop Cassandra Nova, one of them is going to die because it's matter and antimatter coming together and it will atomize them. So there's no healing. So Wolverine has this amazing speech where he pulls out the photo for Deadpool. He's like, you got a whole world to go back to. I got nothing. I got nothing. Let this be me. And you think it's going to be Wolverine, and they do that Armageddon Ben Affleck swap where Deadpool swipes it, and there goes again one of my favorite movies where he's doing the Superman thing and like the stairs and everything, but he goes, "Why are you doing this? It should be me." And he goes, "Because I'm Marvel Jesus or Spock." Hard to say. Like just the self awareness in that moment of sacrifice to still find the joke. And that's where it looks like we're going to lose. Deadpool is trying to pull the cable out. He's not getting it alone. Wolverine's not getting through the door. You're like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And then, in my opinion, what is the version of the Guardians in the Galaxy scene done 100-fold better, where the arm grabs and they just look at each other and he pops the claws and the shirt vaporizes for no reason other than the fact that Hugh Jackman got shredded in this movie and they wanted to show it off. Like, the dude is 55 years old, dude. That, like, and then Like a Prayer, the orchestral version kicks in. And I'll be 100% honest with you, Danny. The first time I saw that, I thought they were going to kill them because both of their lives flashed before their eyes. And that's where we get, in my opinion, Hugh Jackman's single greatest scene as Wolverine, which it flashes back to when they didn't kill Cassandra, and he goes, "For the first time in my life, I'm proud to wear this suit. It means I'm an X-Man. It means I'm the X-Man." And dude, the waterworks that I was fully weeping like a black chick at a funeral. Like, no, Jesus, don't bring him into the MCU just to do this. I just got over Logan like a week ago. And then Deadpool's whole life flashes before his eyes and the events. And I'm like, oh my God, this is it. And then it detonates. And then we go to B-15 from Loki talking to Paradox and everything. And he gives this whole fake speech about they're heroes and we're only here because of their heroicism. And there's nothing we can do to bring them back now. And then you just hear, he has risen, baby girl. And Paradox being like, fuck. And then the best song, Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls. And I don't want the world to see. And I'm just doing the slow walk, Hugh shredded in the mask, everybody looking at him like it was. I openly cheered so hard and like stood up jumping to see that they were both alive. It gave me a joy, Danny, I haven't gotten from a movie theater since Endgame. Like it filled that fit. You know how they say like, oh, never try heroin or whatever because you're always going to be chasing that first high. I feel like Endgame was the highest I'd ever gotten because of a movie, and Deadpool surpassed it tenfold. Because those two characters, Deadpool and Wolverine, meant more to me than Spider-Man and Iron Man, which were the reasons I was invested in that. This
this just proves Marvel can do it. So,
and
I mean, you have Fantastic Four, don't care. You got Agatha, really don't care. But post Deadpool, Wolverine, you have to do better. I mean,
yeah,
even this Captain America movie, there's a chance, but I'll even give that one a pass. Going forward, you have to do better. You've shown you know, and you show you understand. So don't give me any of this nonsense. Don't
and
stop
you've also shown you can
characters.
you can take the stuff from the comic books right off the page and put it in the movie, and people will still go see it. This
People
movie is
want to see the stuff in the comic books. They don't want to see your version of stuff in the comic books. Nobody wanted to see Eternals because no one knew what that was. Who are these people? None of those characters were the characters. The first one was you race swap Sprite
right.
and destroyed his motivation because he was the best one. Secondly, the Celestial was wrong because it was a sleeping Celestial who's the strongest one that's been asleep inside of Earth since forever. So you just it wasn't Tiamat. So I don't even know what that dude's doing here.
I mean, so overall, I mean, like I said, this film is a 10 out of 10 for me. I have rewatched it countless times now, but I want to get your final thoughts on it. Everyone talking about superhero fatigue, and that's why Marvel was doing bad. This
Marvel
is
was
the
doing bad because of bad writing, horrible directing, no vision, no understanding of the characters. You have a character, you don't have to make the characters like verbatim comic book accurate because in the comic books, no one, no one liked Kate Bishop. In the show, everyone loved Kate Bishop. You can, as long as you write it well, it's fine. You can change things here and there to make it more grounded, more realistic. You have to nerf them a little bit. You can't have everybody have their comic book accurate powers. Like, it's just insane.
My other final thought on this is everyone was worried, oh, is the R rating going to limit what it can make? First of all, I saw so many kids in my screenings. But second of all, this proves you can make R rated superhero movies that find a large market.
Yep. So get ready for Spawn.
King Spawn, as it's to be known.
McFarlane's coming out, and it should be a 3-part movie.
Oh, Danny, hold on. Don't go giving the van more ideas. All right, don't go pitching them a trilogy.
Also, do it right. Like, let's see, Heaven to Hell, Loss. That's it. Yeah. Let's see Spawn go through all of it.
Yeah, and then Todd McFarlane tomorrow posts a video with your exact pitch.
I just thought of this myself right now. This is my idea. And it's hold on. Let me get my notes.
In 3 to 5 years.
5 years. It'll take 5 years. Yep. Just like they said. I mean, just like I thought.
Oh shit! All right, Danny. Any final thoughts on Deadpool and Wolverine?
Go see it if you haven't. If you have, go see it anyway. Great movie,
Absolutely,
and like call on Marvel to do better from now on. So this
absolutely.
Fantastic Four movie, don't bother. Just shun it.
So,
Shun the movie.
so I will say, be sure to check out, guys. We have a brand new YouTube and a brand new Instagram. They're going to be launching with this episode. We've also really, really invested a lot of time in our TikTok. So the Facebook page is going to become what our YouTube page used to be. So the Facebook going forward is going to be where we're posting the finished versions of everything. But we really want to spread the platforms of YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. So be sure to check us out there. They're all going to be coordinated names. Everything is going to be very easy. And then our new website, even if it's just our basic homepage, will be launching soon as well. Also, look forward to us being back to weekly, if not twice a week episodes as we finish up the summer here and head in. We really want to start banking episodes and staying to a more strict schedule because the fans that we've developed for this show are super loyal and super into our opinions. So we want to
We're
reward
gonna be
you
like
guys.
Bert Kreischer. We're gonna record 30 episodes and then release them over the course of 8 months. So we're gonna talk about stuff that while you watch it's gonna make no sense. Like breaking news, like dude, that movie already came out like 4 months ago. Because we are just gonna Bert Kreischer it. We're also
So
going to be whatever we say we are. We're not going to be good at whatever that thing is. As like a comedian who doesn't tell any jokes, just bad stories.
and also Bert Kreischer form. So look forward. It is August 2nd as we're recording this podcast. So look forward to our episode in December where we discuss the breaking news of Robert Downey Jr. playing Doctor Doom for our
Oh,
Christmas
get ready.
episode.
Just for that, January 18th. You heard it here first in February.
All right, guys, that's going to wrap things up. Be sure to check the description of this video for the links to our TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. And as always, we want to thank our fans. Shout out to the Australians. We love you guys down under.
Operation Pine Gap.
Yes. And also, we're not here to fuck spiders. I learned that one. It's a great one. All right, guys, that's going to wrap things up for this special Geek and a Nerd Deadpool spoiler review. As always, we look forward to being here every week to meet our geeks. I've been Chuck Hewatts.
I've been D.
And you guys have yourselves a week.